for those that are homeowners that are trying to stay in their house. I just think it's a tough economic time. But I also believe that public safety is critically important for this county. I really do believe people are struggling, and they just literally couldn't afford this.
So the fight to fund public safety in Clackamas County continues tonight after a property tax hike on the May ballot failed. If it had passed, the average Clackamas County homeowner would have paid an extra $60 a year, totaling about $190 annually, to raise an estimated $200 million over 5 years. That money would have gone to the sheriff's office, mostly for staffing. So let's break that down. The sheriff said the levy pays for 92 positions across the jail, investigations, even patrol. That includes more than 60 deputies, the body-worn camera program, and the county's drug enforcement team. Those programs all facing major cuts after voters had their say. Now, the sheriff called the election results disappointing, adding in part, without this dedicated funding source, the level of sheriff's office services our community has come to rely on will change significantly. What to do next lies in the hands of the Clackamas County Commission. And joining me now live to talk about all of this is Clackamas County Chair and former Sheriff Craig Roberts. Thanks for coming on the show.
You bet. Thanks for having me, Blair.
Okay, so first, tell me why this levy is so important, because let's be real, when people hear public safety levy, I feel like their eyes gloss over. So why is this such a big deal?
And I guess I'll take you back in time. I mean, I was elected in 2004, took office 2005, and we really, we had a revolving door. We had closed jail beds, and it was, crime was high, and we formed a citizen blue ribbon committee to look, what should we do? And it was, you needed to go to the voters. And so we did, and it passed, and what it did was it opened jail beds, we had opened some medical beds, and it really did stop the revolving door. And so many years we continued with that at no increase, and that was really a big goal that I had is, hey, let's live within our means, let's continue to trim and cut wherever we can. And it really just kind of came to a point where this levy was to, the current one, as you mentioned, it was a slight increase, $60 over the entire year to really add some much needed dollars to keep staffing as it was.
So really the increase was to keep staffing? Explain that piece more. Why do we
Yeah,
have to
because
increase it?
So a simple way to put this is all of the costs have continued to rise around us, just like at your home, right? PG, guess what? PG, we're the water. Our jail is the biggest water use in the city of Oregon City. You look at food. Just to give you an idea, I mean, there's 500 inmates, right? And you have to provide 3 meals a day, and what is 25,000 meals a month, right? Your food bill has gone up at home, so has ours. Gas is a huge one, and so all these patrol cars, the normal budget for fuel is about $1 million. Well, you add what's happening right now, and that just has, unfortunately, a devastating impact on service delivery. So it's all of those things, healthcare, the list goes on and on. So I just encourage people to just consider the same increases that you're facing at home, we're facing on and able to provide public safety services at the same level.
So speaking of going back to the beginning, if you will, we want to highlight how this levy has progressed over the years when it comes to election results. So it narrowly passed in 2006 during your second year as sheriff with 53% of the vote, but it was renewed 3 more times in 2011, 2016, 2021. And then last month, more than 60% of voters said no way to the renewal. I got to ask you, were you surprised when voters rejected this?
A little bit. I wouldn't say completely surprised. I just know from talking to countless people and seniors right now, this is tough economic times, and people are struggling. And so even the slightest increase can have an impact, and I think Oregonians are tired of tax increases. And obviously you saw a number of other money measures on the ballot that went down, other fire departments and other, so I do believe people are taxed out. And so what I really want to do for us right now as the Board of County Commissioners is we're really at a listening point. We want to hear from citizens of Clackamas County. You know, what are your thoughts? What are your inputs? We're doing town halls and a number of things to be listening. Do we go back out or not? We haven't made that decision. I mean, obviously we've talked about that. I want to be very clear about it is that if this does not pass or we don't find other resources to kind of step up and fund that, jail beds will close. You'll see a dramatic impact on public safety services. And what I'm so proud of over the years with our current sheriff and everybody else is we're the safest in the Tri-County area as far as counties go. And I think we're like third largest in the population, over 89,000. So Clackamas County is a safe place to live. I really believe, you know, the citizens want to continue that. It's just how do we get there? And with that being said, I do want, you know, the public to know that we are cutting in a number of other areas. This isn't just like we're asking you to step up, that we are making cuts. The sheriff, I'll give her accolades. She cut her overtime by 30%. That's about $2 million cut in overtime. And you have to understand in police services, for example, the tragedy in Sandy, the whole SWAT team was out there. That cost about $25,000 in overtime, not straight time, just overtime.
Right, it's a lot of money, and I want to hit on that piece because what we've been hearing a lot from voters is that they just simply couldn't afford this.
Right.
That's why they voted against it. So you mentioned the possibility of the levy coming back in November. We're not sure yet.
We're not sure.
So, but if it does come back to voters in November, I mean, what could be different? Do things have to be different? Will it be the same thing, or considering a lower rate, shorter timeline, or a different approach altogether?
I think all of the above. I think that it could be less. It could be, it really depends. I think what was also kind of confusing in this is that I've also heard that is that it wasn't new and it wasn't a renewal because there was an increase. And I believe, as you mentioned, it's a $60 per year increase. So it's pretty modest on average home. So I think there was some confusion about that, like this is a whole brand new levy. No, it's been going on, but there was an increase. So it's considered a new public safety levy.
How much do you think that confusion played into it failing?
I think a portion, I wouldn't say it's all of it. I think it's the economic times. And I think if people read that, they could have believed that, wow, this is another tax deal. I can't afford it anymore. And not realizing that they're actually paying it right now. So,
right.
So I think that could be a little bit of confusion along the way. But I think most importantly to understand too is that we know government has to step up and find cost savings. I realize that. And I know there is cost savings we're going to continue to make and reevaluate on an ongoing basis. And that we just want people to know we're spending those dollars wisely and effectively. And the way we do that is we constantly evaluate how we're doing business.
Okay, Chair Craig Roberts, thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate your time
tonight.
tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, now it is your turn to weigh in. You know the drill. Did you vote for or against the levy last month? Would you support it in November? Tell us why or why not. And as always, did anything that you hear tonight stand out to you? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090.